Howdy folks, my name's Reagan and I want to say thank you so much for prioritizing just a little bit of your time to be here with me today. When we think about priorities and things that happen in our lives between work or church or family obligations or for us we have farm obligations and YouTube obligations, and right now we've got baseball going on too. All these different things every day compete for your time, for your attention, and sometimes they compete for your money too. And if you let it, that overwhelming feeling builds up on the inside and you get to a point where you can't focus on what's most important. What I'm thankful for is that Jesus has a plan for how to deal with these anxieties. And when you get into Matthew chapter 6, that's right in the middle of the Sermon on the Mount, what we call the Sermon on the Mount, and Jesus is just laying it all out there for us. And so starting in verse 25, I'm not going to read all this, but I do want to give you just a little bit of background. Jesus is telling us not to worry. We're not to worry about what we're going to eat or what we're going to drink or things that just letting those day-to-day worries and things build up in our lives. Because when we look around and we observe creation, it's getting dark here today, but the lilies in the field are clothed in glorious fashion, and the birds never worry about whether or not they're going to eat because there's always food there for them. And if God provides those things for the beauty of the field or food for the animals, how much more is he going to provide for us? The caveat, it's really not even a caveat, but it kind of is in verse 33. We trust in God for all these things because he tells us not to worry, and we can just rest and think this is all great. This is verse 33. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. What we want to do is always prioritize God first in our lives. We want to seek his will for our lives. It's fine not to worry, and we don't want to get caught up worrying about money or caught up worrying about what the clothes that we're going to wear or things like that. And all those things are important. It's not to say that those things are important, but what we want to do is seek first God's will for our lives. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will fall into place. Now, we're not always guaranteed comfort, maybe as we see it, but when we seek first the kingdom of God, we put our faith and trust in Jesus Christ and his finished work on the cross. He's the propitiation, the payment that satisfies for our sin debt. And eventually there will be a time when we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. The streets are, the whole city's built out of gold. They use it as concrete, right? So I'm so thankful that God provides for everything, and he provides for us too. I hope that you will seek God's will in your life, and don't worry, because it's all in his hands. My name's Reagan. Thank you so much for being here with me today. We'll see y'all soon.